Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Chatting Smack with me, ya boy, Chatterson. And before I get into any cool Impact Wrestling Rebellion / Code Red stuff and all the goings on since that event, or any WWE Raw talking about the Wildcard Rules stuff, or any Money in the Bank talk, I want to address AEW and the people telling me to just stop going in hard on them. Well, okay, I'm done. I'm out. I'll just stop talking about them because I don't want anybody else hearing about AEW or thinking about AEW because of me and then going and spending that $40 on the way in, or going buying those t-shirts for a company that doesn't have a TV deal and doesn't exist yet, and going on holiday to Hawaii on the back of money they've made from promoting social change and marketing social change and having you part your money based on them manipulating your emotions. I'll stop. I don't want that. So from here on out, no more AEW chat. I mean, haven't they supposed to have announced that TV deal already? Am I missing something here? Maybe I am. But from here on out, WWE Money in the Bank talk, Impact Wrestling talk, hit that music.
It's me, the Game Triple H, and it's time for Chatterson.
Welcome back, everybody. Here we go. So Impact Wrestling have been on fire lately. It's been going on for about a year now, this build to greatness, and I think things really started to hit home round about Rebellion. I think that event, top to bottom, provided entertainment and wrestling. It was, as I say, had a little bit of that variety show feel to it. A lot of the matches brought something different. The Scarlett Rohit match was back to the intergender wrestling being done in a way that is respectful and tells a good story, away from that Joey Ryan crap that we saw at United We Stand. And I really hope that Impact Wrestling continues to go down this Scarlett Bordeaux route with the intergender style and continue to tell this story of a woman doing it the woman's way. They don't have to become masculine to defeat men or be on a level of playing field with men, and men can also use their skills. You know what I mean? It's not that you have to be a man to beat a man. It's not that you have to be a woman to beat a woman. It's that different men and different women can use their assets, their skills to overcome. And I think that's something that I would like to see continued in the intergender thematics of Impact Wrestling. Is very much that if a woman beats a man, she does it because she's a woman. She uses her God-given abilities as a woman to pull off that victory. And it doesn't have to be flashing or using her body like we used to see back in the WWE, but it's more the speed, the cunning, the I don't know. It's not that she's going out there and being aggressive and being dominating. You know what I mean? Like, she is still very wily, still very smart, still very quick, still very opportunistic, and that's what brings her that victory in the end, is that she scratches and claws with her own talent. She never once compromises and starts low blowing or scratching the eyes or doing anything heelish, but she doesn't cave into that masculinity. And I think that's a brilliant story to tell. And I think when you bring that sleaze, that sexuality, that form, that pleasurable abuse that Joey Ryan kind of brings to the role, and then you play it for laughs, that's what I find kind of disgusting and disrespectful, is that this shouldn't be played for laughs. If wrestling's a soap opera for men, if a woman was being abused or a man was being abused on EastEnders or General Hospital or whatever the fuck Americans watch, you wouldn't laugh. It's not a comedy. You know what I mean? So, and I think that the way Scarlett's being presented as well, it's definitely not being portrayed like it's a comedy. I think it's a very serious situation, and it's great to see Scarlett continue to overcome off of her own back, her own credit, her own talents, her own skills, and just that girl, I want to see a rocket strapped to her back and pushed to the moon. I think she's probably one of the best female talents alongside Tessa Blanchard. Impact Wrestling's Knockouts division, it's stacked, right? Damn. Yeah, when you put them... Where was I? when you look at Impact Wrestling's Knockouts division, especially Tessa and Scarlett, I see two main event talents there. Especially two main event talents on the level of Becky Lynch. And I think, don't get me wrong, I think the man gimmick works for Becky Lynch because that's her gimmick. But anybody else trying to be the man in that regard need to kind of back off and find their own shtick, you know. That's why I think Lacey Evans' stuff's good. While it might not be being pulled off in the best manner, I know a lot of people are not 100% sold on how the gimmick's being booked. But that's why I like her, is that it's not the case of that she has to be Becky Lynch. And Becky Lynch and the man should only be Becky Lynch as it pertains to the women's division. But that's what, I mean, people say that women's wrestling just isn't as good as the men's. And I don't know lately, man. Like, I can see where it's struggling in WWE, and I don't necessarily feel like it's being led down the correct path in wrestling in general, but I think there's a very few companies out there, a couple of the Joshi promotions over in Japan, and actually Impact Wrestling, who are just treating women like other talent. You know, they're not making them a how would you say it, a preferential class. They're not doing this whole like women's revolution thing and making a spectacle of them. They're just giving them storylines and booking them like they would book any man. And isn't that the true form of equality? I think that's fucking fantastic. I love it. I can't get enough of it. And I can't get enough of Impact Wrestling in general lately, to be honest, man. Big Michael Elgin just debuted at Rebellion as well, and as controversial of a figure as he has been hitting note after note after note. Every time I've seen him, from the episode of Impact that's just passed to Code Red, I think that Elgin's just been knocking it out of the park. And I can't give him enough praise at the minute for his performance, because while I wasn't 100% interested in the feud with Brian Cage, and I'll pray for a speedy recovery from Brian after his injury at Rebellion, he's came in and he's took that role and he's just ran with it. You know, he was the star at that triple threat match that main evented Impact. You know, like, as cool as Pentagon is, he's probably one of my favourite wrestlers in the world right now. I would put him far above Elgin, but in that match, man, Elgin's performance was something else. And to be fair, I want to kind of see Johnny Impact move down the card a little bit now, and I want to see probably Pentagon follow him. I think Johnny Impact versus Pentagon for the X Division title would be a feud that was bellissimo. And they're two guys that I believe could hold that X Division title and bring it the prestige that it had when AJ Styles and Samoa Joe and Christopher Daniels were fighting for that belt. If Pentagon and Rich Swann and Johnny Impact and the Rascals and those kind of guys were your X Division, Ace Austin, that's a heck of a division. And you've got guys in there who have got tenure that can give these young guys the rub. P.A. Williams is doing that with Ace Austin right now, and he's doing an amazing job of it. He's making Ace Austin look like a smart, tactical, credible, sneaky threat who'll do anything to prove that he's the best and get the upper hand. He's giving Ace Austin's character is developing week in and week out. And that's a beautiful thing to see as a fan of a wrestling promotion, is your favourite stars, like, not being above putting a guy over and helping build the talent when the moment's right. I mean, that's the hard thing to watch across the board a lot of the time, especially in WWE. WCW was bad for it back in the day as well, of just there being this glass ceiling where all your favourite talent were always bumping their heads. And it just doesn't feel like that in Impact. It feels like there's a rotatory system based on merit, you know, and if you do deserve it, you start going up that chain, and somebody on the other side might come down a few notches, but when they work with you both elevate, you know, you both end up back up that conveyor belt towards the top. It's not lowering yourself to work with these talents. And I hope that Johnny Impact and Pentagon and guys like that, of course, I mean, it's obvious that they do. I don't think they've showed their work ethic. But, I mean, it's just nice to see a main event that's not against putting over their younger guys. It's nice to see veterans not have this massive ego trip where they feel like anyone below them is just automatically going to come along and ruin them and replace them. And I really hope that, moving on to this veteran role, I see a lot of people complain about the ECW presence going into the show, complaining about Tommy Dreamer, complaining about, I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a couple of spoilers. I'm not going to say which ECW legends, but there's some ECW legends that show up, and I hear people moaning and complaining about them even being there, and I don't know. I don't know what happens. I've not seen the results. I've not seen the matches. But surely if these guys are there to put the Impact Wrestling talent over in the long term, give those guys the rub, then that's all we can ask for. I've even seen more people complaining about the debut of RVD and saying that it was undermining Ethan Page for Rob Van Dam to say that he didn't know who he was and all the rest of it. That's who Rob Van Dam is. If he came in and started pretending to be this different guy now, we've seen how he acted the last time he was in Impact Wrestling. We've seen how he perceives himself. If it's not putting over Rob Van Dam or Dope, Rob Van Dam, whatever, man. The crowd was chanting Ethan Page's name. Well, they were chanting all ego and Ethan put them in their place. But Ethan introduced himself as well. It was to give Ethan even that platform was something that was really, really cool. And I can't wait to see the eventual match between the two because I know it's going to be great. Ethan Page is going to show Rob Van Dam some of those moves. And the heat there was fantastic. You heard the crowd response. People want to see Ethan Page versus Rob Van Dam. People are interested. People are excited. Yeah, Rob Van Dam was Rob Van Dam. What did you expect? As long as he's there and puts on some good matches and eventually uses his stature to give these guys a rub, which I think he gave Ethan Page a rub there. Yeah, he might have walked out on top, but I thought it was a really enjoyable segment. I think Ethan got his shit in on the mic. It was decent. And if you're going to complain it's decent while WWE and some of those other companies out there are giving you subpar, I don't know what to tell you, man. Maybe wrestling's not for you anymore. And I'm not some gatekeeper. I'm not telling you get out. I'm saying reflect on yourself. Decide what you like, what you want from wrestling. If WWE it sucks all the time, if Impact Wrestling's just average to you, like AEW... Oh, sorry. But yeah, I don't know what to tell you, guys. That's it. I don't know what to tell you. If everything sucks, then maybe find another hobby. But I want to sit down and I want to enjoy my wrestling. And one thing that I don't think I'm going to enjoy is this whole new wildcard rule in the WWE. One, because it makes no sense. For why? Two, we're just coming into Money in the Bank. Surely we should maybe focus on angles and storylines based around the actual talent rather than all these big company changes all the time. That's what WWE seems to have done. They seem to have mistaken good booking and good stories for these just big ground shaking changes all the time. No, we liked a story that ran throughout a show that had a logical beginning and end, which also tied into a grander story. Like, the whole anything can happen in the World Wrestling Federation thing more came from the surprises of people showing up. Like, they were just natural plot points that we discussed that were twists and turns in a story. It wasn't that we wanted, like, oh, here's a brand split, here's a draft, here's a superstar shake-up, here's a wildcard rule, now we're doing tout it out, now we're doing this thing, here's celebrity guests. It wasn't just this like barrage of shit being thrown at a wall, which WWE, you've been doing that for the past 15 years, man. And even things like Total Divas, the Divas Revolution, all these things that you've done that are supposed to be such big, bold moves have all just came across like throwing shit at a wall and then pushing it so hard that it has to stick. Just write a story. Write a story that Stone Cold Steve Austin shows up to the building and he's locked out and he finds a way to get in throughout the night, and you see bodies lying backstage, and eventually at the end of the show the glass shatters and Austin comes out and McMahon runs away. It was easy, guys. It was easy. You had this down. to a T. I don't know who you thought you were changing to cater to, but clearly a large majority of your fan base still wants that. The large majority of the fans who don't watch anymore don't watch because you no longer have that spark of creativity. You're just not creative anymore. And wrestling is a creative art, even from the in-ring product all the way to the booking and the reason for the fight. It's all story. It's the story of the body, a story told in the physical. The rest of it's a story told in the verbal. Both of those combined is what makes wrestling the greatest thing in the world as far as it comes to performance art and theatre and all those things. Wrestling trumps them when it's done well. But the wildcard rule is not doing something well. That's just throwing another bit of shit at the wall, which doesn't even make any fucking sense. If you don't want the brand split anymore, end it. We've just done a superstar shake-up. You've got talents there who you're offering apparently $500,000 to just sit on their ass and not realise their full potential. You've got a TV show there. You've got God knows how many hours a week. Make the money that you know that you can make off of them. Don't keep the toy away from anybody else that can make money. Do you know what I mean? Do you understand? People loved you. People loved the Attitude Era, not because it was good wrestling, but because it was the best example of you telling stories week in and week out that we can find. Was there plot points? Yes. Was there logic holes? Yes. Was there bullshit swerves? Yes. But you could see that they were trying to tell that story. I don't know what the story is now until the next time Stephanie or Vince come into the ring and announce something new and groundbreaking. It's ridiculous. People say the Attitude Era is dead and we want to move on from the Attitude Era, but one of the most exciting things right now going on in wrestling is Ken Shamrock threatening to come back out of wrestling retirement to challenge Brian Cage for the Impact Wrestling World Championship. Now, I don't know if people know Impact Wrestling history, but back when they were NWA TNA and they were using the NWA Championship, Ken Shamrock was their very first champion. Now, this Pancras vibe that's coming back with Killer Cross and JCW's Josh Barnett's Bloodsport, that's what it was called. Yeah, people are excited for that again. Are you going to tell me that Ken Shamrock versus Killer Cross is not going to make money? You telling me that Ken Shamrock versus Brian Cage is not going to draw interest and draw eyes? Of course it is. And a farewell run from Ken Shamrock is something that I'd be excited to see. As a fan, that's something that I'd want to see. And I think Impact Wrestling definitely has the wherewithal to book that perfectly correct. I mean, Callis' experience with ECW, Scott Demure's been booking for years. I don't think that if a 1 or 2 match run, maybe 3, throwing Josh Alexander in there would harm Ken Shamrock in the slightest. And I think there would be money left on the table that I think it would be very silly there for Impact Wrestling to leave behind. But, you know, that's something that I think a lot of people want to see, and if they go for it, I mean, there's even been talks coming out of Code Red and Rebellion that DJ Hyde and some guys from CZW were backstage in talks with Impact Wrestling as well. So I mean, if they're going down these interesting alleyways, working with guys and bringing back that kind of anything can happen, exciting feeling, and they do it in a way of telling a story rather than just trotting guys out. I mean, even thinking about it, Ken Shamrock versus Rob Van Dam would be one heck of a match. If you can get them both on the books at the same time, I'd be all for that. But yeah, skipping back over to the WWE Wildcard stuff before I start to wrap this episode up here, and that is to say that if this is a network-based thing, and you're catering to a network to do this, usually back in the day you would tell us on screen. So just as a pointer to you, WWE, it'd be nice to see maybe like a network executive come down and maybe impose that rule, maybe have you throwing your power about with superstars and have something actually happen instead of you just dictating it and it's making it seem sort of left field. I mean, you've been telling and not showing a lot lately, and I think that's a real big mistake you're making there, WWE, is that you're just telling the fans what are happening instead of letting these things happen naturally through the story. You try and make story fit around the words instead of the words fit around the story, and that's just completely the wrong way to go about it. And you might sit there and say, who the hell are you? And that's a good point, but you're clearly making mistakes, you're clearly nosediving, everything that you're trying is not working and being balked at. Maybe it's time to listen to someone who's not speaking from a stance that they want to see exactly what they want on television, and maybe start speaking to fans that actually care about you making money, people who actually care about you succeeding and doing well, and who couldn't really care less if Kofi Kingston or Kevin Owens or Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins or Brock Lesnar is champion. They just want to see you please your fans, the people that you're catering to, and actually make some money and actually turn things around. Not make money from big, TV deals and stuff. That's all well and good, but eventually when the fans stop coming around, those big TV deals are going to go away, and the people that have paid you them are going to feel extremely gypped. So maybe now that you're okay with using the term wrestling and wrestlers and some of those banned words again, maybe you'll start accepting fans back into your heart. Fans who legitimately care about your product and want to see you succeed. I'm not some AEW or Impact Wrestling or whatever, rider. I'm not that. I grew up on the WWF. I grew up on the things that you did, the amazing moments that you made before you were so focused on making amazing moments that you just turned it into a gimmick. You've turned everything you are into a gimmick. It's time to kill that gimmick. I don't want to see WWE die. I want to see WWE thrive. I want to see WWE succeed. I love WWE. And I love WWE so much that we're going to revive the 2019 prediction war. And I am challenging Tyroxus and one Howell only, Jack, to go head to head to head. I want to revive that bad boy and go from Money in the Bank to Money in the Bank next year. No more B2B versus Tyro Nation. Mano a mano a mano. I've got a chat with interview coming up with Tyroxus after my second sit down interview with Calder McCall at Calder_McCall. That's MCCOLL on Twitter. I'm going to bring Tyroxus to a sit down interview. I'm going to face him man to man, and I'm going to throw out this challenge personally. You'll get to see that over at belly2belly.wordpress.com, those interviews. And until then, until my next video making those Money in the Bank predictions, because I predict that Tyroxus is going to stand up like a man, shake my hand and say, let's continue this bad boy. And you know who to support, guys. The only man that's chat cat proud, raping us till the death. That's me, at Chatterson on Twitter, paypal.me/ChatChatterson for any donations, and just share the love, guys. Follow, like, subscribe, share, and peace out.